let's take a look at what's left with the transfer portal, because it reopens here again. Do you know which state it reopens? It's just right around the corner, I believe.
I don't.
But
Well, I don't know. I don't think it reopens again until spring ball, right?
yeah. Oh no, you're right.
But
So
you
if
can
it
you
opens,
can still sign players in the portal. I think you just can't enter the portal, right?
right? Okay. So my question that I put on the Facebook, and that is, are you happy with the Vols transfer class? 8% said extremely, 88% said a little, and 4% said not at all. So let's take a look at some guys that are still in the mix for Tennessee in their transfer portal class. And let's start with some offensive linemen, because you might think that that's the direction that Tennessee is going. So let's take a look. It's Four Downs, brought to you by Dynasty Spas, and Four Downs is right now. By the way, have you been to Dynasty Spas yet? They're bubbling.
Four Downs brought to you by Dynasty Spas, the most comfortable spas made in the United States of America, right here in East Tennessee. Drop in for the all-new showroom in Athens. Dynasty Spas, perfect for all four seasons. Four Downs, presented by Off the Hook Sports.
All right, so I want to take a look at the players that could possibly replace a Mincey, and let's do that right now. Jump in the hot tub with Cooper Mays.
Cooper Mays here. Hit like and subscribe.
Boom.
Coop here. First down.
Thanks, Coop. Armaj Reed Adams, 4 seasons with the Kansas Jayhawks. Offensive lineman announced his intentions to enter the transfer portal. Has appeared in 31 games with 14 starts, 2 years of eligibility. 6'5", 325 pounds. I think this is the kind of player that we like, and that he's going from a smaller program to a bigger program. Caleb, you and I have discussed that before. He graded out 62 in pass blocking, 59 in run blocking. I don't know that he's great, but what do you make of Reed Adams?
No. He actually graded better. He graded 64 in pass blocking and 63 for run blocking. It was Mincey who graded 62 and 59 for pass and run. So
sorry.
He graded out slightly better than Mincey, which is a good sign. And he also
then it sounds like then it sounds like you're just getting another Mincey because he's going against lesser competition.
Well, with offensive line, okay, there's a few caveats with PFF grades, because so much offensive line, it's complementary blocking, as you know. Now this applies to guards more than tackles, to be fair, because tackles are usually just one-on-one on the outside, but there is still complementary blocking on the right side. And if the rest of your line is weak, it can really drag down your PFF grades. Or if the roles are different. For instance, I just want to bring this up. Jerome Carvin had consistently the lowest PFF grades last year for Tennessee. But let's be honest, Jerome Carvin was severely missed this year by Tennessee.
No,
and
so
so we don't know with him, but this is a good, you're right. And also he's a 4-year guy from Kansas. So he's a 4-year guy, probably got his degree. It's not like he's running from school to school, desperate to get accepted somewhere. You know what I mean? So.
Yep. I want to get to some more. We got 2 more offensive linemen you need to keep an eye on. Here we go. What down, Coop?
Cooper Mays here. Second down.
All right, thank you. Of course, 4 Downs, brought to you by our friends at Dynasty Pools and Spas. Have you been to that showroom in Athens? It's phenomenal, and they deliver, and they have the best chemicals, the best products, the best covers. They've got it all right there. Dynasty Pools and Spas in Athens. Again, they deliver. Knoxville, Chattanooga, doesn't matter. They'll take care of you. Go to dynastyspas.com or stop by that showroom and get it taken care of. So second down leads us to a young man that has an awesome first name. Zalance, I want to be heard. Do you get it? I want to be. Yeah. Zalance Hurd. Zalance, who goes by Lance as well, which is stupid because Zalance is cool. He entered the transfer portal after his freshman year at LSU. He played in 12 games in the SEC with 1 start before opting to transfer. This, to me, from the outside looking in, sounds like a guy who might have a chemistry issue. If he's already playing as a freshman and he's ready to bolt LSU, then they're not ponying up the dollars, or he doesn't get along with somebody. I don't. This one seems from the outside, no sources. This one from the outside seems a little icky.
Tennessee fans, if you say you didn't want Mincey because he was a head case after he left, but then you celebrate the pickup of Lance Hurd, you're hypocrites. Because Dave, you're right. And now I was texting Gyro last night, so I just want to bring up a couple of things he mentioned to me because he wrote this article. By the way, you should check it out on Off the Hook on the other possible transfers in the portal. Lance Hurd wants to play left tackle. He will refuse to play any other position. And he couldn't beat out Will Campbell for left tackle, so he won't come to Tennessee to play right tackle. Now, theoretically, Tennessee can move John Campbell over to right tackle and then put Lance Hurd at left tackle. But if someone has that level of demand and wants a big NIL bag, you're right. There's chemistry issues. By the way, and where is the best fit for him if there's issues like that? There's a school that is on a bordering state of LSU that it's a little bit further north that a former Tennessee coach is running right now that, he seems like
Who
a
are
perfect
you
fit
referring
for.
to?
Lane Kiffin and Ole Miss. Come on, Dave. Does this not sound like an Ole Miss kid? Just straight out of the blue. Lane Kiffin's going to call some boosters and say, "Hey guys, throw some
It
more
does
money."
sound like an Ole Miss kid. It does. It does exactly sound like an Ole Miss kid. All right, so let's get to third down.
Tennessee center Cooper Mays here. Third down.
All right, third down is a young man that we'll introduce you to in case you didn't know. Nolan Rucci. I would imagine that's how you pronounce his name. He played in 3 games this season for Wisconsin, but his recent entrance into the transfer portal makes him a possible name to watch for Tennessee. Spent 3 years in Madison playing in 5 games. Ugh. This has the sizzle of bacon in the refrigerator.
I'll say this much for Wisconsin. He spent most of that time under Paul Chryst. Paul Chryst, whatever you think about him at Wisconsin, was part of that Wisconsin tradition of just developing a factory of offensive linemen. That, it was the old Nebraska way. They'll be walk-ons and they'll turn into NFL Super Bowl offensive linemen. So while Wisconsin is nowhere near the program Tennessee is, Wisconsin is the standard for offensive linemen in the country, beyond even Alabama or Penn State. It is the standard. So it can be hard to get into the rotation there. They moved him to the interior. The issue with him, and I'm going to send the worst signal imaginable to everybody that believes in the term student athlete. Okay. The exciting thing to him is he, like Josh Dobbs, is an aerospace engineer.
Well, perfect. Then we can talk about that for the rest of our lives because I get so sick of hearing about how Josh Dobbs is an aerospace engineer.
Well, and also the issue of this, and I'm just going to say this, and Dave, you can tell me if I'm crazy or not. I think because of the age of NIL, coaches have a right now to tell players you should prioritize your football over your academics.
Amen.
And you need to give up your aerospace engineering degree.
Amen. Amen. Somebody, and you can, that's the thing, you can always come back to a school like Tennessee. They'll still give you your scholarship back 10 years later. I mean,
exactly.
Reggie Cobb did that. Fred White did that. And you've still got your scholarship years later. So I don't have a problem with majoring in football. If my son was going to college and he's
majoring in sports management for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. And some of these kids, it's balancing a checkbook. I mean, it really is. So no, I would have no problem if he's making $100,000 a year and he can go back to school later, focus on football. I have no problem with that being a major. I've said that for years, that could be a major, how to manage your finances, do it. I think the first program to do that is going to pick up a couple of big time signees because every single prospect believes they're going to be a star in the NFL. And I got bad news for you. Only about 0.6% of you are going to be.
Yeah, and just promise them that you'll honor their scholarship if they ever want to come back to school and get their degree after playing football. There's no rule stopping the school from doing that. I mean, so...
No, almost every school does that now. Every big school does that now. I don't know that some smaller schools can afford it because the check actually does have to change hands. It's not like just in-house, like I buy you a beer at a bar. It's not like that. A check has to change hands because they are governmentally funded. But now let's get to fourth.
And also, here's the thing.
Center Cooper Mays here. Fourth down.
Coop, you shut up. Don't you make me run over you. Oh, that'd be ugly, wouldn't it? Go ahead, Caleb.
Tennessee's program, when it unraveled under Butch Jones, it unraveled with an upset loss to South Carolina after a bye. Butch Jones deserves a lot of blame for that. But it's because Josh Dobbs had a final that week, an aerospace engineer final. Him being an aerospace engineer cost Tennessee a chance at winning the East in 2016. So focusing too much on academics is a problem for your football program. Okay, an hour in the classroom is worth more. An hour in the weight room is worth more than 10 in the library.
I'm with you. Hey, by the way, which are you more sick of hearing more about? That Josh Dobbs is an aerospace engineer or that Joe Milton can throw the ball 85 yards?
Okay, Joe Milton throwing the ball 85 yards because I've heard of quarterbacks my whole life with big arms that it doesn't mean anything. Jamarcus Russell, we were told, could throw it 70 yards on his knees. And that didn't stop me from saying he'd be a giant bust of an NFL draft pick.
Yep. Fred's on board. We're majoring in football. Somebody needs to do that right now.
All SEC center Cooper Mays here. 4th down.
That's right, Coop. And if you talk over Caleb one more time, then I am absolutely I'm going to your house and I'm going to get my rear beat.
I was going to say, what are you going to do? Stand up the
I remember one time being on a radio show with somebody, and it was a former offensive lineman, David Ligon, and he said, what would you do if I wanted to fight you? And the host was Josh Ward. And he said, well, I would run. And David Ligon said, I ran a 4.9. I'd catch you. So there you go. So if Cooper wanted to, he could not only beat me up, but he could catch me and beat me up. All right. So 4th down is this. And if the Vols are done in the portal, is that okay? And it's different from the question, the poll question that we have on YouTube, because I just want your take. If they're done now, if they lose Mincey and the guys that are in the portal, because they could still take them back. They don't have to, but they could. And I kind of wonder if Mincey was shown the door given the timing of it, because they have depth for the Citrus Bowl. And then they say, it might not be a bad idea if you go somewhere else. I wonder that out loud. But
you thought they showed depth in the Citrus Bowl?
They needed as many players. Let me rephrase that. How about that? Is that better? They didn't show
I thought that was the worst offensive line play I had seen in years at Tennessee.
No. But they needed them is what I meant. Didn't show depth. They needed depth. All right. So if the Vols are done in the portal, is that okay? What say you?
No, and no. If they don't add another offensive lineman, then all of my hype behind Tennessee is going out the window. And y'all think
it's not all going out the window because of Gerald Mincey.
He was competent. He wasn't good, but he was competent. Every other offensive lineman is air. Okay? You might as well put Dylan Sampson at right tackle at that point. Okay? So I am saying that Tennessee's offensive line depth is horrendous.
I know why you picked Dylan Sampson there, because he's the worst blocking running back that they have.
Dylan Sampson is the worst blocking running back in the history of blocking running backs. Okay.
That's a little strong.
He's horrible. He's horrible at it. His bad blocking outweighs his 133 yards on the ground, and he shouldn't see the field again until he learns to block. They don't have Gerald Mincey. This is not about Gerald Mincey being that good. He's below average. But guys, there is such thing as below average. That's a D. But then there's an F. Would you rather have like a 65 on an exam, or would you rather have a 0? Okay, because every other offensive line is a 0.
D means diploma. Dylan says, nope, offensive line and secondary are still weak and depleted.
Exactly, Dylan. Nailed it.
Okay, I'm going to tell you why you're both wrong. You kept Coop, Keenan Pilley, and Brew McCoy, and John Campbell. So, guys, come on. You can't have everything. You can't have your cake and eat it too. You can't reinforce your lineup with players that could go elsewhere and then go out and add players that would be competing for playing time with them. No, it's just not like that. That you should be very happy with what has happened with the transfer portal, because the NIL money has been spent on current players that are proven. Be happy, be excited.
Dave, no one's asking for everything, but you can't go win in the SEC with just 3 linemen who can block and everybody else be trash.
That's fair.
So again, they have, and we don't have a confirmed that Javonte Spraggins is back. We assume he's back. So, but
General Nealon says, I'd rather pay the teacher for an A, go And then I don't know. So he's
No
talking about the
tamper.
school pay. Yeah, it's getting to the point where the players are going to be able to pay the teachers. Have you ever thought about that? I mean, see, I'm not joking. Have you ever thought that if a player said, "Hey, I'm not going to be eligible in the national championship game unless I pass this class," and I could probably give you like $5,000.
I
Because
mean,
that's not much money to them anymore.
It's not, and that's not what players used to have to do to get good grades in classes. Sorry.
Okay. If you've ever blackmailed a college professor, raise your hand.
Never. I'm a decent human being. I've
Did
never
you see
done
my
that.
hand go up?
Yes, I saw your hand go up, Dave.
I did. I blackmailed a college professor. This is a true story. Saw her. She was a young lady. She was probably in her late 20s. I was 22 in college, and she was out partying a little bit too hard. And I just stood in the back and I watched her partying, taking shots and getting wild. And I went up to her and I said, "Hey, how's class? Are we looking forward to class on Monday?" And she said, she's scared to death because she's like a first year teacher. I said, I'm not going to be going to class anymore. So I would still like an A though, if you don't mind. And she did it.
Wow.
Is
Wow.
that strong or is that strong?
This day and age, Dave, that would totally work against you because she'd be like, "Hey, I'm allowed to party, and that's you still got to show up for class." Like that's how that would go this day and age. But like, yeah, it's
She gave me an A-. I think it was just a little dig. She gave me the minus, but that freed up some of my time to be able to watch more football. So that was good. That's
football's more important than class, guys. Y'all need to learn that. Okay, football's more important than class, and it's more important than church too.
Wow. About that. Portions of the program, but our society sometimes seems to think so because we place a bigger emphasis on that on Sundays with the NFL. But
I mean, and you know what? It's so annoying.
Don't
when
get me
church goes
sidetracked
so
on
long.
religion and sports.
When church goes so long, it cuts into NFL kickoff. That's a problem, guys. Okay.
Do not get me started here. He's joking. Message board.